What is up, guys? Welcome to Rick Renegade's Metal Collection. This is episode 12 of Shuffle of Death, where I let my phone choose 5 albums that I have to listen to from beginning to end. And most of these are good, but there is one that was really rough to listen to, and we'll get to that. Okay, and it's another dreary day here in Batesville, Indiana, so maybe that's your thing. Maybe that's metal to you. I don't know. I could use a little vitamin D once in a while, but well, let's get started. Definitely starting off on a good note here. Iron Angels, Winds of War, and for the kids, maybe I should block that, but we're all metal, right? Okay, so this came out in '86. Gets a 78% on Metal Archives, which I don't think that's quite fair. And this is the second Iron Angel album. So Iron Angel is a German speed metal band. I've always kind of favored the debut, the one right before this, Hellish Crossfire. It's just really, really intense. It's super metal. Metal is all get out. But this one is a little more laid back, a little more melodic, tries to be a little bit more musical, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually a very good album. But I'll admit, I always listen to Hellish Crossfire a lot more. But we still got some of those really intense speed metal moments. It's just not like the whole album, with the exception of a couple of tracks like the debut. But this one's kind of the opposite. You got a lot of slower, more power metal tracks, and then a couple of speed metal tracks, like Vicious, for instance. Oh yeah, it's definitely Vicious. Definitely listen to that on a good sound system. It'll just freaking rattle your eardrums, man. It's great. But this is some good stuff. And we got, both albums seem to have at least one just basic 80s hard rock song, and that here is Born to Rock. Definitely this album is a little more happy-go-lucky, I think, than the debut, but it's definitely worth checking out, though. Really good high-pitched vocals from I believe his name is Dirk Schroeder. I think I'm his friend on Facebook even. But yeah, check out Iron Angels, Winds of War. Good album. And they've got some new stuff that I haven't checked out, and I really need to, because I've really been a big fan of Iron Angel for a long time. So next. Oh, definitely a good one here. A personal favorite. Rage, Perfect Man. So this came out in '88. Gets a 92% on Metal Archives. Oh, and by the way, I would probably give Winds of War, I would at least give it like an 88%. How's that? Hellish Crossfire, I would give more. I'll give that 88. But here, Perfect Man gets 92%, which that's kind of fair. I would probably even give it more, like maybe a 95%, honestly. I mean, it's really, really an album that I highly enjoy, and this is the third Rage album. So, with Rage, they started off kind of more of a speed metal thrash sort of thing, and slowly kind of developed more of a power metal sound with each album. This is a completely different lineup from the first 2 albums. And here we have a 3-piece, which this is my favorite era of Rage. If you watch any of my Rage videos, I've probably explained this to death, but I love this lineup, especially with Manny Schmidt on guitar. And this album, I remember when I first got this, I liked it, but it was kind of strange. It is a very strange album. It's not like just really typical power speed metal or whatever. It's definitely got interesting ideas, definitely some odd melody choices from P.B. Wagner, odd guitar note choices. I mean, the whole thing's just got some oddities, but it really, man, if you can really wrap your head around it, it is an awesome album. Incredibly creative. I don't know. It's just brilliant. And I like the whole thing is good, in my opinion. And it's got 14 tracks. Now, anybody that's watched a lot of my videos, to me, that's kind of a no-no. I don't really like tracks or albums with a ton of tracks like that. I like to keep things a little bit short and sweet as far as an album. I don't mind long songs, but as far as like track and album length, I usually like to keep it a little short, but hey, every track is good. Some tracks on the second half of the album might get a little lost to me, but really the whole thing's good. I mean, it could have been trimmed down a little bit, but hey, it's a great album and awesome album art. I've always liked that. The Perfect Man, Sound Chaser, whatever you want to call this little mascot guy, and yeah, definitely don't pass this up. And by the way, I just realized there was a Rage album that was released like in March this year. Man, I should check this stuff up more. I need to get that. It's called After Lifelines. So I don't know. Tell me what you think of that. I'm going to get that and definitely going to review that soon. So next we got Blood Feast, Chopping Block Blues. Man, I haven't heard this album in a long time. It's been years. Kind of forgot it. I even had it, to be honest with you. Okay, so Blood Feast. This came out in 1989. This is some American thrash metal. 73% on Metal Archives, which I would probably give it more than that. I would probably give it like an 85. And this is the second Blood Feast album, which is kind of surprising. They really didn't do very many albums back in the day, like a couple albums and an EP, like back in the 80s or whatever. But what we got here is, it was a pleasant surprise. I was kind of happy this popped up because I really wanted to hear it again. And I got to say, I've always loved that album cover. It's just, it's kind of humorous, chopping block blues, and they're all holding their own heads. But the music definitely reflects this. It's definitely, I would give it kind of like a Slayer type of vibe. Maybe take Exodus and Slayer, throw them in a blender, and you would get this Blood Feast album. This one's definitely a lot less rough and primal as the first album. This one definitely goes a little bit more musical, like a little more intricate songwriting, more going on in the riff department. Vocals are a slight bit more melodic, if you want to call them that. I really like it. I kind of like this direction a little bit more than the debut. And it's actually pretty dang good. It's not bad at all. So yeah, I would probably give this an 85%. And yeah, that's really all I got to say about Blood Feast, Chopping Block Blues. Next, we're going to talk about a band that I like, but unfortunately, we're picking a not as good album. Girlschool. Okay, I love this band. I think they're classified as new wave of British heavy metal, all-female band. They kind of started off sounding a little bit more like a female, maybe like a Motorhead type of deal. But very quickly, after 2 albums, they went to some really more commercial type rock. And depending on who you are, you might love it, you might hate it. So the album we're talking about is Play Dirty. Okay, I'll actually open this up. This is a pretty cool little set. I like these little box sets. They don't bother me too bad. Let's find Play Dirty. Okay. Here's Play Dirty. Okay. So, what we got here is, this came out in 83, which I'm surprised it's still that early, but I guess it is. It gets a 40% on Metal Archives. That is fair. I can definitely understand that one. And this is their 4th album. Okay, this one was really hard for me to get through. Like I said, I really enjoy their first 2 albums. Demolition and Hit and Run. Very good, like raw, like Motorhead type of metal. Very fun to listen to. And then they quickly just started to go commercial. I mean, this album, no pun intended, but there's absolutely no balls to this album. Well, there's really no balls in the band, but yeah, there's just very weak, man. Like, I will say, if you're into this type of thing, it's well done. If you just like really commercial 80s rock, you might like it, but it's just not my cup of tea. I don't enjoy it that much. I'll give some of the songs a little bit of credit for being, well written, and I think there was that I can remember one track that's a little bit more speedy that slightly resembled something off the first 2 albums, but for the most part, if you don't like commercial stuff, this is not for you, and it's really not for me. I would probably give this like a 60%, just for the fact that it is at least well done, but again, not my thing. So, and we'll put that back. Last and certainly not least, we have Symphony X, a fantastic power metal, progressive band, whatever you want to call them. I've always had kind of a funny relationship history with Symphony X. I've always wanted to consider them a little like one of my top favorite bands because they do have moments of greatness, but they never really became like top status for me, even though I do like some of their stuff. Like, for instance, I always thought the Odyssey was like their perfect album, and it was the one that came after this. This album is just called V5, whatever you want to call it. And this came out in the year 2000, which I'm surprised it's that long ago. Dang. 85% on Metal Archives. I think that's actually fair. I probably would give it exactly 85, honestly. And this is their fifth album, V5. Okay, not surprising. So what we have here, Symphony X has always kind of been like a power progressive band, very, very much influenced by like Yngwie Malmsteen's guitar work, with Michael Romeo's guitar work, and we got some great vocals by Russell Allen. Definitely one of my favorite vocalists, though, in the power metal game for sure. So the thing about Symphony X for me, they got moments where I'm like, they're just brilliant, and they've got moments where it's just like, it's technically good, but kind of goes over my head. I kind of get a little bored and a little lost with it. And the Odyssey is the only album that don't do that to me. Like, I feel like the songs are just so well written that the whole thing is just completely captivating. This album really focuses more on just the prog side, and it's just a little more of a showing off sort of thing. Maybe it's better for musicians to enjoy. I don't know. Maybe not. It sounds good. It's heavy. I just think it really focuses more on the musicianship than it does the songs. That's where the Odyssey does everything better. But this really just sounds like a more proggy version of the Odyssey, honestly. So I like it, but I don't listen to it quite that much. It's a pretty long album on top of that. I think it's like over 50 minutes. No. Wait. No, this one was like an hour and 3 minutes. That's right. I'm thinking of something else. So it's long, kind of overstays its welcome for me. But it's definitely good if you just want to hear some good musicianship. And, there's definitely some little beautiful sounding passages here and there, nice keyboard piano work. It's well put together. It's just not as far as songs go, they're not the best songs. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Still give it a shot though. Symphony X is a good band. I really do think highly of them as a band. They're very good. But I'm just very, very hit and miss with their direction that they go. I don't know. That's about all I got to say about that. But yeah, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Yeah, if I had to pick a favorite out of all these, by far it'd be Rage. Yeah, Rage Perfect Man is by far the best out of these, in my opinion. And I'm going to have to check out that newer Rage album that I always miss Rage because I don't get the news on them. If I don't go out and just look them up, I just don't get the news on them ever. So, went over my head. Missed that one. But anyway, like, subscribe. Till next time, guys. Stay metal.